Welcome to our deep dive into from the Agora to the market. In it, Jose Manuel Bermudo kind of takes us through this journey of how marketplaces have evolved.
Yeah.
And we're going to unpack some of the fascinating ideas that he presents.
Yeah.
You know, you might be surprised to learn just how much today's markets are shaped by what was going on way back in ancient Greece.
Absolutely. It's fascinating to think about ancient Greece, and we tend to jump right to the philosophers,
Right.
you know, the art and all that. But
Right.
their marketplaces, the agoras, were truly the heart of their society.
So if we were to step back in time and visit an ancient Athenian agora,
Yeah.
what would we actually see? I mean, would it be anything like the markets that we're used to today?
Well, imagine a bustling open space.
Yeah.
You know, just filled with vendors and shoppers. You'd see people bartering for fresh produce,
Right.
handcrafted pottery, beautiful fabrics.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't just be about buying and selling goods.
Right.
You'd also witness lively debates on politics,
Oh, wow.
philosophy. You might even stumble upon a religious ceremony
Great.
or a theatrical performance.
Wow.
The agora was a stage where all aspects of Athenian life played out.
It sounds so vibrant and dynamic.
Oh, absolutely.
A far cry from, our often sterile and transactional modern shopping experiences.
Yeah.
So how did these agoras function? I mean, were there just free-for-alls, or were there rules and structures in place?
Well, while the atmosphere was certainly lively, there were systems in place.
Okay.
For example, there were designated areas for specific types of goods,
Okay.
and officials oversaw things to ensure fairness and order.
Okay.
So what's truly fascinating is how success in the agora wasn't just about having the best product.
Right.
It was also about your ability to persuade and build relationships.
Right. So it was like this giant networking event where your charisma and communication skills were
Yeah.
just as important as the quality of your goods.
Exactly.
Which makes sense, right? I mean, there were no online reviews or targeted advertising back then. Right.
You really had to win people over with your words and personality.
Exact. Think about figures like Socrates,
Oh, yeah.
Plato, and Aristotle.
Of course.
They were all regulars in the agora, engaging in debates, shaping the intellectual landscape of their time.
Wow.
You know, the ability to articulate your ideas, to argue effectively, and to persuade others was highly valued in this environment.
It's amazing to think that the foundations of Western thought were kind of laid in the midst of all that buying and selling.
Absolutely.
It really highlights just how interconnected life was back then.
Mm-hmm.
But as fascinating as the agoras were, they eventually gave way to new forms of marketplaces.
Yeah.
What drove that shift?
Well, the rise of money and long-distance trade played a significant role.
Okay.
You know, as empires expanded, like the Roman Empire, marketplaces became more specialized and moved away from the all-encompassing nature of the agora.
Okay.
Take the Roman Forum, for example.
Yeah.
It served as a central marketplace.
But with a greater emphasis on administrative and legal functions.
Right. So the Romans, with their emphasis on law and order, brought a new level of structure and regulation to market activities.
Absolutely.
So the seeds of our modern, more regulated markets were already being sown in Roman times.
Yeah.
But what happened after the fall of the Roman Empire? Did agoras make a comeback, or did something else emerge?
While you wouldn't see agoras in the same form,
Right.
medieval Europe saw the rise of fairs and market towns.
Okay.
These bustling events, often timed around religious festivals,
Okay.
connected local economies and facilitated trade,
Okay.
particularly as agricultural production increased.
So picture a medieval marketplace.
Right.
Filled with merchants hawking their wares, woolen textiles, spices from the East, maybe even a blacksmith demonstrating his craft.
Yeah.
And alongside the commerce, you'd have entertainers, musicians, and storytellers adding to this vibrant atmosphere. Right. So while these medieval marketplaces might seem worlds away from the ancient Athenian agora, they represent a continuation of this fundamental human drive to connect, exchange goods, and share ideas.
Absolutely.
And as we'll see, it's within this medieval period that certain innovations began to emerge that would fundamentally reshape the trajectory of marketplaces in the centuries to come.
Yes.
You've piqued my curiosity.
Okay.
What innovations are we talking about here?
Right.
Is this where the printing press enters the scene?
You got it.
Okay.
The printing press wasn't just a revolution in communication. It was a revolution in commerce.
Okay.
Think about the impact of being able to suddenly circulate price lists more widely.
So instead of relying on word of mouth or traveling to multiple markets to compare prices,
Right.
you could get a sense of the going rate for goods across a much wider area.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the early version of online price comparison websites.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The printing press brought a new level of transparency and standardization to pricing,
Okay.
setting the stage for more complex market interactions
Mm-hmm.
and paving the way for a more interconnected economic system.
This is where we see the roots of modern capitalism starting to take hold, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And alongside these technological advancements, you have massive social and economic shifts taking place.
Right.
Like the Industrial Revolution, which would completely transform production, consumption, and global trade.
Right.
But that's a conversation for our next segment.
Okay, I'm already hooked.
Good.
It's fascinating to see how these seemingly disparate threads, from ancient Greek rhetoric to medieval fairs to the printing press,
Yeah.
are all woven into the tapestry of market evolution.
Absolutely.
It's fascinating.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We left off talking about how the printing press really shook things up in the marketplace.
Yeah.
It's amazing how a single invention could have such a rivet effect.
Right.
But you mentioned the Industrial Revolution was another game changer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it must have completely transformed the landscape of buying and selling.
Oh, it did. It completely did.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where most goods were still made by hand in small workshops or homes.
Right.
And then suddenly you have these machines
Right.
capable of producing goods on a massive scale.
Right.
It led to a surge in the variety and quantity of items available.
So instead of that personalized experience of buying a handcrafted tunic in a medieval marketplace,
Right.
you're now walking into a shop with rows and rows of mass-produced clothing.
Yeah.
It's like the shift from Etsy to Amazon,
Right.
but on a historical scale.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
The Industrial Revolution not only transformed production,
Right.
but also consumption.
Right.
And this shift had profound social and economic consequences.
Yeah.
It fueled the growth of cities, created new industries,
Mm-hmm.
and led to the expansion of global trade networks.
It's almost like the world was shrinking, becoming more interconnected
Yeah.
through this web of commerce.
Yeah.
But this period also saw the rise of new economic ideas and philosophies that continue to shape our understanding of markets today, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The 18th century was a time of intellectual ferment,
Okay.
with thinkers like Adam Smith grappling with the implications of these rapid economic changes.
Right.
Smith's concept of the invisible hand
Mm-hmm.
became a cornerstone of classical economics.
Okay.
He argued that individuals pursuing their own self-interest
Right.
in a free market would ultimately benefit society as a whole.
So by each person trying to maximize their own gain,
Right.
whether it's a baker trying to sell the most bread or a consumer seeking the best deal,
Yeah.
the market would naturally regulate itself,
Right.
leading to greater prosperity for everyone.
That's the idea.
It's a powerful idea.
Yeah.
But was everyone on board with this laissez-faire approach?
Well, not everyone.
Okay.
In fact, this period also saw the rise of critiques of capitalism,
Okay.
most notably from Karl Marx. Marx argued that capitalism, while capable of generating wealth,
Right.
inherently created exploitation and inequality.
Okay.
He believed that the pursuit of profit would inevitably lead to the concentration of wealth and power
Right.
in the hands of a few,
Okay.
at the expense of the working class.
So you have these two contrasting narratives emerging.
Mm-hmm.
One championing the efficiency and wealth-creating potential of free markets,
Right.
and the other highlighting its potential for exploitation and social division.
Yeah.
It's a tension that we're still grappling with today, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And these ideological debates played out alongside the development of new institutions and systems that would further shape the landscape of modern markets.
Right.
The rise of stock markets, for instance, was a significant development.
Okay, I have to admit, the world of stocks and bonds has always been a bit of a mystery to me.
Right.
It can feel so abstract and intimidating.
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
Instead of directly exchanging goods or services,
Yeah.
people started buying and selling shares in companies.
Right.
These shares represent a piece of ownership in the company
Okay.
and entitle the shareholder to a portion of the company's profits.
So it's like pooling resources to invest in a company's future with the hope that its value will increase over time.
That's the idea.
But that also means you're taking on a certain level of risk, right?
Exactly.
If the company doesn't perform well, the value of your shares could go down.
That's the trade-off.
Right.
Stock markets introduce both the potential for significant gains
Mm-hmm.
and the risk of losses.
Right.
They reflect the collective confidence or lack thereof in the future prospects of companies and the economy as a whole.
Okay.
And as we'll see, the 20th and 21st centuries would see the rise of even more complex financial instruments and systems, further shaping the global economic landscape.
This is all setting the stage for the digital revolution, which has taken these interconnected markets to a whole new level. Yeah, it's fascinating to see how we've gone from bartering for goods in an ancient agora to trading stocks online in the blink of an eye.
It is. It's incredible.
We've journeyed from the bustling Athenian agoras to the rise of stock markets and mass production.
Right.
It's incredible to see how much our marketplaces have evolved over time.
It is.
But it feels like with the digital revolution, things are changing faster than ever before.
Absolutely. Bermudo argues that we're living through a period of unprecedented technological transformation.
Right.
One that's blurring the lines between the physical and digital realms in really profound ways.
Yeah, it's not just about buying things online anymore. We're talking about digital currencies, blockchain technology, artificial intelligence. Concepts that would have seemed like science fiction just a few decades ago.
Absolutely. And these technologies are not only changing how we buy and sell, but they're also raising fundamental questions about the nature of value ownership and even work itself.
Okay, let's break this down a bit. What does Bermudo have to say about digital currencies like Bitcoin? I mean, do they represent a real threat to traditional financial systems? Or are they just a passing fad?
Well, Bermudo presents a nuanced view.
Okay.
He acknowledges the potential benefits of digital currencies, particularly their ability to facilitate faster and cheaper transactions, especially across borders. He also points out that they could provide greater financial inclusion for those who lack access to traditional banking systems.
So for someone in a developing country who doesn't have a bank account, digital currencies could be a game changer.
Absolutely, that's right. But Bermudo also cautions against the potential risks.
Okay, like what?
Things like volatility, security concerns, and the potential for illicit activities.
Right.
He emphasizes the need for thoughtful regulation and oversight to ensure that these technologies are used responsibly.
It's a bit like the Wild West of finance right now, with both incredible opportunities and potential pitfalls.
Absolutely.
And what about blockchain technology?
It seems like everyone is talking about it, but I still struggle to understand what it actually is and how it works.
Well, imagine a digital ledger that's distributed across a network of computers, making it incredibly secure and transparent. This ledger can be used to record transactions, track assets, and even verify identities, all without the need for a central authority.
So instead of relying on banks or governments to verify transactions, you have this decentralized system that's collectively maintained by the network.
Exactly.
It sounds incredibly complex, but also potentially revolutionary.
Absolutely. Blockchain technology has the potential to disrupt a wide range of industries.
Like what?
From finance and supply chain management to healthcare and voting systems.
Wow.
But like any powerful technology, it also comes with its own set of challenges and ethical considerations.
So Bermudo seems to argue that it's not about embracing or rejecting these technologies outright, but rather about engaging with them critically and thoughtfully.
That's exactly right. He emphasizes the need for informed public discourse and responsible innovation. He urges us to ask tough questions about who controls these technologies, how they're being used, and what impact they're having on our lives.
It's almost like we've come full circle. Just as the ancient Athenians gathered in the Agora to debate the issues of their day, we need to engage in a similar process of collective deliberation as we navigate the complexities of the digital age.
That's a powerful insight. Ultimately, Bermudo's book is a call to action. It reminds us that marketplaces have always been shaped by human choices, values, and aspirations. And as we stand at the cusp of this new technological era, it's up to us to shape the future of buying, selling, and connecting in a way that benefits all of humanity.
From the ancient Athenian Agora to the global digital marketplace, it's been quite a journey.
It really has.
We've seen how marketplaces have constantly evolved, reflecting the technological advancements, economic ideas, and social values of each era. And as we move deeper into the digital age, the one thing that's certain is that the marketplace will continue to transform in ways we can't even imagine yet.
Absolutely.
So as you navigate this ever-changing landscape, we leave you with this. What role will you play in shaping the future of the marketplace.